Okay, so why do people hire you? Why do your clients hire you as the expert, as the coach? That's what I want to share with you in this video. So let's dive in. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri, Elkaim here, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. Hope you're doing great. We just had a ton of snow, like literally almost 2 feet of snow. The most snow I've seen in a very long time. You can probably see it in the reflection behind me. Anyways, I want to share just a quick thought with you today is understanding why people hire you. And it doesn't matter, what type of health expert you are. The reality is that people hire you because they can't figure things out on their own. It's as simple as that, right? And you have to, so you may have had conversations with prospects at some point in the past where people have said, well, let me kind of lose weight first and then I'll hire you, or kind of like, let me get some stuff in order and then I'll hire you. And it's kind of backwards because that's not why, they will hire you, they should hire you because they haven't been able to figure out what they want on their own, and they never will. The keyword is never. And I don't want to be like black and white and just making a statement that people probably can't learn on their own, which they can. But if they're an adult and they don't have what they currently want, then they're likely not going to get there by themselves. You have to understand that. And if you're having a conversation with someone, you have to understand where that's coming from. And at the end of the day, again, as a coach, you want to be able to have the confidence and courage to have a conversation with them around the fact that, if you already have what you wanted, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you don't, which tells me there's something you don't know. Right? And that something could be knowledge, it could be accountability, it could be whatever it is, but there's just something missing. And we have to be able, in our marketing and our sales conversations, be able to get people to think differently around their situation. Because the reality is that there's 2 ways life can go. There's 2 ways we can go about achieving anything. And we are all leaders in our lives. And leaders ask 2 questions. What is it that I want? And why do I want it? But then there's 2 paths we can take. And the people who struggle in life take the path that I'll call the path of struggle, the path of most resistance, if you will. And they ask the what and they ask the why. The next question they ask, though, is how do I do that? And that's a very unsuspecting question, but it can lead to a lot of problems. Here's how this typically looks. I'll just use the example of, well, actually, you know what? Well, this is not the best example, but I'll use an example. So we were putting up some shelves, or wanted to put up some shelves in our living room. This is like, 6 months ago. And so what we should have really done is we should have hired a millwork company to come in and put in custom shelves in this area. And I didn't think about that in retrospect, and I should have, because instead what I did is I said, okay, here's kind of what I'm looking, kind of like what I'm thinking of. And so we ended up buying these shelves from IKEA, these lac shelves. You may have seen them. They're just the ones that kind of float on a wall. And I was like, they're pretty straightforward. We're not going to have, thousands of books on them. They look decent in this setup. And so we got the shelves. So that was a little bit of the how. The next question was, well, I'm not going to put the shelves up on the wall because they're friggin' impossible to figure out, like a lot of IKEA stuff if you're anything like me. So I looked for the second question, which we should ask instead of the how, is the who. Who can help me get there? So we ended up finding someone on TaskRabbit who is a contractor, and he came in, put up the shelves, and that was fairly straightforward. It took him an hour. It would have taken me like a year. So that's an example of if you've ever tried to DIY anything yourself, it can be very frustrating. And if you have someone else who's done it before and they can do it for you, you're going to just get results so much faster with less frustration. It's going to cost you less money, etc. Now, where that went wrong for me was I had the what, I had the what wrong in the first place, because what I thought I wanted was not what I actually wanted. And what ended up happening was those shelves apparently are so shitty that we put a little bit too much weight on them. And one morning, the whole shelf just came off the wall. And we're like, whoa, not good. So again, that's just a bit of an aside, but going back to the what, this is where people have to, a lot of people don't get what they want in life because they don't know what they want, right? But a lot of people know what they don't want, right? Most people you're going to be working with don't want to continue suffering with their health issues. Some of them are not at a point where they want help. They might say they want help, but they're not willing to get help because they're not willing to give up the chocolate. They're not willing to give up the wine. They're not willing to make a couple sacrifices to improve. But the reason that people hire you and the reason you should be charging a premium price is that specific reason right there. Is that if they're not sure if they can give up certain things, if they're not sure they can commit to doing certain things, number one, they're not going to reach out to you, okay? But number two, you will have conversations with people who are like, man, like I really want to do this, but I don't know if I can. This is where you lean in as the expert and you tell them this is exactly why you need my help. Because you're not going to do this on your own. Because if you don't pay, you're not going to pay attention. If you're not willing to invest $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, then of course it's easier to just keep eating the chocolate and drinking the wine. But if you do make this investment to work with you as the coach, do you think you might be more likely to make some of those modifications? Because obviously you got skin in the game now. You're not just going to pay $2,000 and not make the decisions and commitments that are going to move you forward in the right direction. And so this is why, guys, fundamentally, this is why I believe that coaching is more powerful than doctoring. Doctoring is like, here's a pill, have a nice life. Coaching is about transforming someone fundamentally. And when you are coming from a place of coaching, it's about getting people to do things they're not currently doing. It's helping them change their beliefs. It's about helping them change their actions. It's about helping them move through a lot of self-imposed limitations. And that's uncomfortable. And some people aren't ready for that. And that's why if you undercharge, you will be forced to underdeliver. Not in you necessarily underdelivering, but in the client undershowing up, if you will. Because there's a very different commitment if someone invests $20 to read a book versus $2,000 to solve the problem once and for all. So when you think of why people hire you, it's because they can't do this on their own. You're not just the expert. You're their accountability partner. That's the big thing that people are missing. That's if all you did was show up, let's just say you're helping people, exercise to lose weight. If all you did was show up at their door first thing in the morning and got them out of bed and just said, go to the gym and work out. Listen, are their workouts going to be the best? Probably not if they just did it by themselves. But if all you did was hold them accountable to getting to the gym or like make sure you do 50 push-ups on the floor or whatever it is, if that's all you did, they would get results. When I was training clients way back in the day, I would have clients tell me, like, if I didn't have a standing meeting with you once or twice a week, I wouldn't work out. And I'm like, that's exactly why you pay me. Because we could do the worst workout of all time. But the very fact that you have to show up because you've paid me to be here is going to force you to work out, which is going to help you get the results that you want. So never underestimate the importance of the accountability and the guidance that you're providing for your clients. It's not just about what you know. It's not just about the expertise and the knowledge, which is still very important. Because some people come in and they might say to you, well, I've done this before. I've tried stuff like this before, or I know that already. And it's like, listen, you can know everything you want, but if you're not getting the results, you're not doing it properly. And you're not doing it because you don't have the accountability. So would it be okay if I just showed up and made sure you did the stuff, even if you know what to do already? Would that be okay? And the answer to that question is yes. And that's why you have to charge premium prices, because even if you just sat back and made sure the person did push-ups, it will be the best investment they ever make. All right. So anyways, if this hits home with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button wherever it is. And again, I appreciate your time. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Ciao.